Let's just take your mask off, please.
No, I'm thinking
I need to see under the mask.
you don't need to see under it.
I do, because what if you had something in there?
In trouble searching me without a section?
You're more than welcome to make a complaint.
I will be.
Welcome to CopCore Network, where we put misconduct on display, explore police and legal matters, protect rights, and demand accountability. This episode is brought to us by the Gwen Auditor. Be sure to check out the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, the Gwen Auditor was filming outside the Canadian Embassy when police officers arrived. Seemingly more interested in asserting control than conducting a measured investigation, a man carrying a camera was immediately treated as though he posed a significant threat, with officers bypassing the most basic procedural safeguards and moving directly into a search without clearly identifying the legal powers they intended to rely upon. This was not a simple oversight. It reflected an approach that appeared to view a citizen's rights as obstacles rather than legal boundaries deserving of respect. It is precisely this breakdown in procedural integrity that ultimately led the Gwen Auditor to pursue legal action.
Stop there, please.
Am I detained?
Okay. These
Am I
officers,
detained?
this security from the embassy.
Yeah, I'm still in public.
This guy has been observed from the embassy.
Yeah.
So we need to consider a search of him as a terrorism act. To make sure.
You do this, you know what's going on.
So we can
This
just walk
it's
away.
not a good idea. Could you
Sorry.
identify yourself, please?
You can see my name here, Lieutenant Corbyn.
Okay.
We've had a complaint from the Canadian Embassy that you've been filmed photographing people coming in and out of the embassy.
I'm allowed to film in a
The
public
coronation is
place.
taking place tomorrow, and this is a particularly sensitive
I'm
place.
allowed to film in a public place.
Sorry?
I'm allowed to film in a
You
public
are, but
place.
you're not allowed to gather evidence or material that might be used to support terrorism planning. Do you understand that?
Well, do you have reasonable suspicion that I'm a terrorist?
Well, because these people have observed you.
Do you have
filming
reasonable
premises,
suspicion that I'm a terrorist?
These people have observed you filming people going in and out through the main entrance to the Canadian Embassy. And there's lots of sensitive people moving around the city at the moment. There's a heightened level of security and a heightened threat in the city. And when we see people filming around diplomatic premises, that gives us cause for concern. Do you understand that?
It could be concerned, but there's no reasonable grounds to suspect that I am a terrorist.
Okay.
The moment the superintendent and his team physically engaged with the Gwen Auditor, without first providing any explanation, they departed from the principles of policing by consent and moved toward an unnecessary display of authority. Failing to clarify whether a person is being detained is not an effective policing tactic. It raises serious questions regarding adherence to established legal safeguards. By progressing immediately to a search without first asking investigative questions or outlining the circumstances, giving rise to their concerns, the superintendent appeared to prioritize control over fact-finding. When challenged regarding the basis for reasonable suspicion, his reliance upon information supplied by private security personnel further weakened confidence in the independence of the decision-making process. The interaction increasingly suggested that the presence of a camera, rather than objectively identifiable criminal conduct, had become the central focus of police attention.
There's reasonable grounds you might be gathering information
No, there
that
isn't.
might be used to plan a terrorist attack.
What reasonable grounds have you got?
Well, as I just explained to you,
No, that
you've been
doesn't-
observed by security at the embassy.
That's not reasonable grounds.
Filming people
Somebody
coming out
filming
of
in a
premises.
public place is not reasonable grounds to suspect someone's a terrorist.
Okay. Sarge, you got the information here?
That's understood, yeah.
So
understand?
Yeah, so
That we've got sufficient grounds. It's not just filming a public place. It's almost it appears to them to be targeted.
It might appear to them, but that's not reasonable suspicion to be that somebody's a terrorist.
Grounds,
No, it's not reasonable grounds at all. No.
Search you, okay?
No, it's not.
So you're now detained for purposes of search.
Right, we're looking for things in relation to gathering evidence.
Oh, this is an unlawful search. I'm going to just
This is a lawful search
No, it's not a
under the
lawful
Terrorism
search.
Act.
No, that's not.
So my name is, PC Ashton, 3939 Alpha Whiskey. You are entitled to a copy of the search.
Have you not read the
after-
guidelines from the NPCC?
So basically, you're entitled to a copy of the search after it's complete. Frank, just pull you off for a sec.
No.
It represents a troubling reflection on leadership when a member of the public is required to remind senior officers that photography in a public place is not, in itself, a criminal offense. Rather than acknowledging that legal reality, the superintendent's decision to consult privately with his sergeant gave the impression of officers searching for justification after the fact instead of applying established principles from the outset. The subsequent intervention by the sergeant did little to resolve those concerns. Questions surrounding compliance with body-worn video procedures also emerged, particularly regarding whether clear notification had been provided that recording equipment was in operation. By proceeding with a search while appearing unwilling to address concerns raised about relevant National Police Chiefs Council guidance, the officers risked creating an impression that nationally recognized standards were being treated as optional rather than integral to professional policing practice.
A tourist site. It's an iconic site. It's not something that's on the tourist itinerary. It's a sensitive building, it's diplomatic premises. There's no reasonable excuse for you to be filming the premises because it's a diplomatic premises. It's not something tourists normally do. Which is why we have heightened suspicion around your activity, as my colleagues have
Might not be
explained.
something that you find interesting, that you would go and take photographs
People
of, but it is
planning
to
a
me.
terrorist attack would find it interesting, and to film the entrances and secure security arrangements around it.
As I
which is
said,
why you're being searched.
Do you reasonably suspect that I am a terrorist?
No, we are searching you for any items that might be used for the commission of planning a terrorism act. Do you understand that? You're not being arrested for an offence at the moment, you've been searched.
Which section of the terrorism act have you used? Which section?
More than welcome to look it up afterwards.
No, that's not how it works. It needs to be a section. How it works.
Under the terrorism act, we're allowed to search you in relation to
Doesn't matter,
gathering
it needs to be a
evidence. Sorry, if you just stay calm, we're allowed to search it. All because we're looking for things in relation to this, yeah?
You're just searching without a section, are you?
No, trust me.
Oh.
The superintendent's attempt to equate unusual behavior with terrorism-related suspicion reflected a deeply problematic approach to risk assessment, suggesting that someone filming a building could potentially be linked to terrorism, while simultaneously conceding that no genuine suspicion actually existed, created a contradiction that proved difficult to reconcile. Reasonable suspicion must be founded upon objective facts and observable indicators, not upon an officer's inability to understand why an individual may choose to engage in lawful activity. Matters deteriorated further when one officer advised the Gwen auditor to research the relevant legislation independently. This response failed to recognize the officer's own responsibility to explain the legal powers being exercised. Under established procedural safeguards, individuals subjected to police powers should be informed of both the authority relied upon and the grounds supporting its use before intrusive action is taken.
You're going to be in trouble searching me without a section.
You're more than welcome to make a complaint.
I will be.
You can honestly look at the acts afterwards if you want.
No, that's not how it works.
Take your mask off, please.
No, I'm keeping it on.
I need to see under the mask.
You don't need to see under it.
I do, because what if you had something in there that could hurt me or you?
Right.
It's all for people's safety. I hope you understand we're doing this for people's safety.
No, I don't.
You're welcome to read all about the terrorist act, and you'll see. Nothing else
You haven't even given me a
on him.
section.
It's all good in there. Yeah.
You won't be getting any details from me, Sergeant. I'm not required to give any details. I haven't broken the
You
law.
are
No, I'm not.
give details.
No, I'm not giving details.
But you know, like, it's one of the things under PACE, Code G, that is, if we don't have name or identification, we can't arrest you.
Arrest me for what?
And then we just get for not giving name or an address.
I'm not required to.
No, you are under PACE
I'm not
Code G.
required to.
Okay.
You might want to look
Take your
that
hands off. Just keep your hands where I can see them, please. Honestly, just clear everything, please, mate.
No.
Why not?
Are you actually going to arrest me?
I didn't say so. Well, why can't, but you know, under PACE
I'm not
Code G.
required to. I have my right to privacy. I don't need to give you my details.
When an officer casually suggested that the Gwen auditor should simply submit a complaint if dissatisfied, the comment carried the unfortunate implication that procedural shortcomings could be dealt with after the event rather than prevented through proper adherence to the law. The subsequent demand for the removal of the face covering appeared similarly problematic, presenting a mask as an inherent threat. Without clearly established legal grounds, risk transforming a routine personal choice into a justification for unnecessary intervention. More concerning still was the suggestion that refusal to provide personal details would automatically result in detention. The threat of arrest should never be used as leverage to obtain information where no lawful power exists to compel disclosure. Employing such warnings without a proper legal foundation risks undermining public confidence and blurring the distinction between lawful authority and coercion.
So you're
Why
wrong.
would you not
You might
want
want to check that because you're wrong there.
Why would you not want to give us
Because I'm not required to give you my
No,
details.
but regardless of what, like, why do you not want to, though? Realistically, you can stop
Because I'm a
like this.
private person, I'm not required to give you my details.
But if you're a private person, why do you think it's okay to go around filming everyone
Because I want to. I have a right to do
He's
so.
not given name and details.
It's just it's done nothing.
There we go. See?
It's right to.
Thank you, Sergeant. Could you remind your colleague, because he said he could arrest me if he didn't get my name and address? Yes, he
I
did.
said
It's on
the
camera.
things on page
It's on
code
camera.
G is if there's no name and identification, that's something that we can look to use later down the line.
Yeah, you can pause like search page or anything. But at this stage, I'm happy that there's nothing.
Am I okay to take? Am I still detained? Am I okay to take my next?
No, you're not detained anymore. Thank you. I hope you.
Okay, thank you very much.
No worries. Take care.
The Gwen auditor later confirmed that he received compensation in relation to this specific incident, an outcome that inevitably raises questions regarding the defensibility of the officer's conduct. The fact that a settlement was reached suggests that the matter extended beyond an isolated error in judgment and entered territory that carried meaningful legal consequences. The closing moments of the encounter proved particularly revealing. A junior officer continued pressing for personal information until a sergeant ultimately intervened and brought those efforts to an end. The immediate abandonment of earlier demands, symbolized by the notepad and pen being put away once a senior officer acknowledged the legal position, cast serious doubt upon the legitimacy of the previous threats of arrest. It should not require supervisory intervention to prevent officers from pursuing powers they do not possess. Yet the interaction appeared to expose significant gaps in legal understanding at the frontline level. Ultimately, the Gwen auditor left the scene with both his equipment and his anonymity intact, an outcome that many would regard as an important affirmation of civil liberties. The superintendent's handling of the encounter raised uncomfortable questions about the distinction between genuinely suspicious conduct and behavior that is merely unconventional. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out the Gwen Auditor. His channel is linked in the description below, so be sure to show him some support. Thanks for watching. This was Cop Core Network, and I'll see you in the next one.